Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here on another Fire Sports Pod show for you guys today, here on Recap Monday. This is season 4, episode 26, and I am your host, Zach Jackson, here with my guest host and good friend of mine, Ian Greenberg. Appreciate it, Ian, for coming on, and let's get right to the show.
He dropped the gold government name. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So we got a packed show here for you guys on Recap Monday. Coming for you guys live from the down the shore in Surf City, New Jersey. Ian is back home in northern New Jersey, up in where do you live again?
I live in Mawa, bro.
I thought it was Waldwick. I don't know why.
I live in Waldwick, bro.
I'm because I see you so
Actually,
many times.
I can't. I don't want to run my mouth. I would make fun of Waldwick, but we ain't got the time for that.
Okay, all right. So let's move on to the actual important things of the show here today. First up, we had some news coming over the weekend. We're going to be going over some UFC 305, going over who won the match. What a shocking defeat, as Israel Adesanya had a very emotional press conference before the fight. And he couldn't get the job done. He got submitted in the 4th round. It was pretty embarrassing after he was crying on set and was saying he's going to fuck this guy up and do all this stuff. And he did the complete opposite. And he didn't even show up. So Israel Adesanya lost another one. So now we got to come into question what's happening now. So let's hope we can see some things change in the near future for him. But we'll go over the whole fight card for 305. That will be probably our last segments. But we got to get to some quarterback talk. We're going to be going over who do we think out of all of the rookie quarterbacks that have played in the preseason and that are looking to be a starter, should they be starting? And we're going to just go from there. Now, we all know that Caleb Williams is the starter for the Chicago Bears. I don't think that should be into any question. I think he's a good
Caleb Williams. He made some plays this preseason. I like watching him on those highlights. He was looking nice.
Yeah, and I'm not going to render my my take or my take on the way I thought of Caleb Williams. I still think he's going to be a bust. He's played in preseason, and he's played against people that are trying to make a roster. You have not played against a full team squad for minutes on minutes on minutes on minutes.
So, I don't think you should call him a bust.
I've already I've already called it before the draft happened, so I have to stick with it until.
All right. I don't think he's a bust. I think you gotta give him a year. Because the thing is, these young quarterbacks, especially in teams that with nothing, let's look at the Panthers guy. Shit, I'm forgetting his name. Why am I forgetting? Bryce Young. Like, he did not do the best, but at the same time, I don't think the kid's a bad quarterback. And I feel like it's going to be like, it could be like that for Caleb Williams. So I don't think people should be turning the head on that. So I'm going to disagree with you on that. I don't think people should turn the head on him yet because he hasn't played yet, but he does look like he can handle himself a little bit so far. If he can handle himself fine in preseason, I know it's basically preseason's like college level, a little harder than college level, but so it's not the most determining factor. But I wouldn't label the kid a bust yet. I think if he throws like 20 interceptions, 10 touchdowns in one season, yeah, we label the kid a bust. But I don't think you give the kid. I don't think the kid gets a title yet because he is on the Bears, and the Bears. Chicago's been a mess since the Super Bowl. Since what? Like when the freight train
before Jay Cutler.
Yeah, ever since Jay Cutler, man. Jay Cutler left them. Like, it's been bad for Chicago. So they could screw this one up again like Fields because, to be fair, I think
I thought Fields should have stayed.
Fields should have stayed. And
with that offense, bro, that's all he was looking for, bro. He just needed a good offense, dude. They had
never had a receiver. He only had more. No,
he had more, but they were double coveraging.
Yeah, and they had nobody else.
Exactly.
They had no number 2 receiver. They had no tight. Actually, the tight end was not bad.
No, I like the tight end, but the problem is you got to worry about what?
There's no running back either. There was no running back, nothing on the roster. That the O-line would collapse consistently. That's why he was out of the pocket a lot, and that's why he's very good at making out of the pocket throws compared to just straight up in the pocket throws because he was running away the whole time in his play with Chicago.
Exactly. And that's why I think it is crazy, because I think that's why I think Caleb Williams is going to go into a bust type of role, because
Yeah,
I'm
and
telling you,
especially Chicago, like why might as well keep him because you could give him Daniel Jones money, give him like 80 million per se because he didn't prove himself yet. You could get him on cheap. Could have taken a defensive player with the number 1 pick. Build the defense up or maybe an offensive lineman, something like that, instead of and I mean, hey, we could say something. Maybe Caleb Williams turns this team around and they have a little bit of a CJ Stroud Texans season. We don't know. Anything could happen with
they
that.
have the
But
offense to do it. They have a good defense as well.
they
So
do. But
I
it
think
is
they could, but I
Chicago.
just
That's the big thing there.
exactly, and I just also think it's got to be, dude. If he starts out, see, with rookie quarterbacks, and people don't understand, is that if he starts out struggling, it's up here, and mentally, most rookie quarterbacks check out. CJ
Oh,
Stroud started out hot. He started out great. He had a little bit of a mess during the middle of the season, but still, you're gonna have your ups and the downs. It matters when if you start out up, you come down, you go back up. If you start out down like Bryce Young did, to get all the way back up is so difficult, especially you're on the Panthers, the Bears. Those things happen. The Bears have no excuses anymore that they should
they
not be
don't.
one of the top teams in the NFC with that potent offense. I don't care what quarterback you have. That has to be. You put Dak Prescott on that team, oh
Oh,
my lordy. He's going to be the best quarterback in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes.
well,
It's
dude,
all because
honestly,
there's
you
pieces.
could argue you could put Kirk Cousins in that shit. They
Oh my
would be
God, he would thrive in there. That
he
that would
would
be the
thrive in
perfect. That would
Chicago.
be perfect for him. He
Even
would
though
be
I
much
hate
better.
Kirk Cousins,
I
bro.
hate him too. But to stay on the topic, it's all about going. It's all about going up when you're a rookie quarterback. If you start going down and plummeting like Bryce Young did, it's so hard to get back up. So I'm saying if he doesn't start out hot and he's gonna start
Wait,
out rolling,
did he say anything about that out of curiosity?
what?
Like did he address any of that? Like I'm just wondering, like if you think like did he say anything like he was like struggling mental health or like I don't know.
No. I'm just saying that not mental health, just like mentally checking out in
Oh,
games. There are certain things happen with rookie quarterbacks, and that's also rookie players in the NBA, MLB. If they don't
yeah, to
start
be
out on a
fair.
good streak, they start overthinking. Am I really good enough to be here? Blah 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 blah. Blah. My team suck. This that, and then they start going and going, and that's how you see careers don't pan out the way they're supposed to pan out. Look at Trevor Lawrence, bro. He's supposed to be that next guy. He hasn't made that step yet. He's a great quarterback, but he's not of the elite of the elite. He was supposed.
I
Wait,
think
hold
he's
on.
there. I
He's
think
no,
he's
but he's
close.
statistically he's not though. He
To be
hasn't done nothing
to
in the
be
playoffs.
fair,
He's been getting killed.
I think it's because of how Calvin Ridley pinned out because he didn't have a number 1 receiver and that guy ended up having to be Evan Ingram. And Ridley had that good half the season, but Ridley disappeared. And I think that was a big effect on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
And
but then
I
how is he's already been in the league for multiple years, Ian? You got to understand that. So he's got to be
he,
on this. He's got
he
to
is, but
know.
he is still a young quarterback. And I think Lawrence, that guy throws a spiral like I've never that like I don't see guys that throw spiral like, and that kid is great. I think I think his comeuppance will be soon. I just think I think he's gotta find that number 1 receiver to connect with, and I think he's gonna come up. So I will disagree with you a little bit with him because
That's fine.
I think Lawrence has a potential if he puts him if Jacksonville doesn't screw him over, he doesn't screw over his situation. That kid has a potential to be like he's got some goat potential right there because he can throw that ball so well. I like watching that guy throw a spiral. That's like he's got like a Troy Aikman spiral, and Troy Aikman threw one of the greatest, most perfect spirals of all time. I know a lot of people that are not big Cowboys guys will be like, "Oh, no, you're being Cowboys guys." But if you look at that ball when he threw it, it is one of the most perfect spirals. Even with Brady, you look at that spiral; it's perfect. I see it in a Trevor Lawrence deep ball. When I see a Trevor Lawrence deep ball shoot up there and I see that spiral, I'm like, wow. I'm mesmerized. So
All right.
I see potential in that kid. I think he's going to be he's going to be a good quarterback. Give it a few seasons, and that guy might honestly be one of the best in the league. That's my opinion on him.
Okay, but I don't think you understood. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying that he hasn't. Even the great analysts have said it. He hasn't panned out the way he
I
was
agree. He
supposed.
has panned
All
out.
the hype of when he came out of Clemson was this guy's gonna rule the league. He hasn't done that. He had the ultimate collapse last year. They were 8-3,
and
they left the season 8-9 or 9-8. They won one game out of the next 8 games.
Well,
How do you say you're right there, or you're gonna take that next step when you can't even make sure that your team gets just 3 more wins? All they needed was 3 more wins. 3 more wins to get 12 wins. 3 wins gets you 11.
I think that he's good enough. I think that team is young. That team's young, so I think that they're gonna probably be coming into this season looking like, hey, we ain't letting that happen again, and they're gonna lock in and they're gonna get it right. And I think that team is gonna surprise people. Like, I know we thought last season that was their surprise season, but I think now that the pressure's off of them from the media, especially, people are disregarding them. I think that's when they're gonna thrive, because I think the young guys can handle that media pressure of this insane rise of them being really good. So I think that is going to be very big for them, and they'll have a gainful year, a better year than everybody expects them to have, I think.
All right, okay. So you got yours, I got mine. All right. So now we already said Caleb Williams, as we know, is going to be that number one option for quarterback position. But we just had this morning, Jayden Daniels has been named the starter for the Washington Commanders. After 2 preseason standout games, he will be named the Week 1 starter, and I think that's the best thing you can do as a Commanders. You got to get that guy in there, no doubt about it. I think he's the best. He's the best one you got, and I think you picked him so high. He's got so much great potential. He reminds me of a little bit much. I think he's got a bigger arm and more accuracy, but I think he reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson, man, and a little bit of RG3. RG3 was a little bit bigger and stronger coming out of college, but man, I like the comparisons of Lamar Jackson and RG3 to Jayden Daniels. I think that's great comparisons for him.
I don't disagree with that. To be fair, I didn't really see another guy in him. I think that kid is gonna, if the way the Commanders pin out, because I was very high on Coach Dan Quinn. I really wanted him to take the throne from McCarthy, because McCarthy sucks. I'm sorry, I'm not a big McCarthy guy. I wanted Quinn to take over the Dallas head coaching position after they lost that first round playoff game, and Jerry wanted to fire him. I was like, please, Dan Quinn. But no, of course, we lose him to the Commanders. And I think that people are going to realize that Dan Quinn, even though he choked that Super Bowl with Atlanta, he is an amazing coach, and he picked up a lot of really good roster players for that Washington Commanders team.
And he took like 4 of ours.
Yeah, he took 4 of our really good roster pieces from that defense, and I understand why, because they were really good. Our defensive depth was amazing when Quinn was on the team, because he made a really good job at getting the right guys. And I mean, unfortunately, now we're stuck with Mike Zimmer, but we'll deal with that as Cowboys. But back to the Commanders, that team is gonna definitely be one of the biggest shocks of this season. And the NFC East is going to be really competitive this year, because we're going to completely disregard the Giants. They're trash.
Yeah,
Daniel Jones throwing a pick in preseason.
Who?
That is preseason, bro. That is preseason.
You're playing against scrubs that are trying to make the roster.
Yeah, exactly.
Might not even play.
And Jayden McDaniels was throwing dots and dimes, and that kid hasn't even played a real NFL game.
Exactly.
Caleb Williams throwing beautiful passes, and Daniel Jones, you were a top 5 pick. He was a top 8 pick.
Yeah, top 8. I think
top 8. He was a top 8 pick, and you have 4 decent games. So, and the fact that you're making stupid shit in preseason, can't even throw the ball out of bounds, you throw a pick 6, that is embarrassing for you and embarrassing for your team. And Washington is going to seize this season. They are going to have a good season. The NFC East will be very competitive between Dallas, Philly, and the Commanders. And I think the Commanders should not be disregarded because they will creep up. They have the good defensive pieces. They have a great group of young players. They have McDaniels, and McDaniels we don't know. He could shoot up to be good. He could be all right. But if he plays the way that he was looking in that preseason and making those good throws, making the smart decisions, that team is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And as a Cowboys fan, I'm not going to like to play them.
Hey, I'm telling you what this is. Commanders, yeah, they're going to be okay this year. They're not beating the Cowboys at all.
No, they still won't beat us. That's the only team we actually watch film against.
Yeah, the Giants, they're not beating us either.
The Giants are going to be a joke.
We're going to go 4-0 against Washington and the New York, and then we're going to go 1-1 against Philly, and we're going to end a division 5-1.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think what's going to happen is Washington's going to creep up with the other games they have in the season. I think
they're going to creep up. Their schedule is not bad. They have a pretty reliable schedule. So,
and I think they're going to make some surprises. I think they're going to pull a couple surprises, especially in like games against the Ravens. I think they're going to do a little more than people expect. Like there's going to be moments where they're going to have, and even if they don't do as good the next season, it's going to be scary because they'll still have a higher first-round pick, and Dan Quinn gets a defensive piece or something. Shoot, that team is going to be scary. They have a huge potential, and I don't know. I'm very high on Jayden Daniels. I think he'll be a great quarterback. I think he's
going to be good. I agree with you. This one we're going to agree with. I think Jayden Daniels is going to be good. I like him coming out of LSU. I like his style of play. And he's smart with basketball. He's smart with the.
And I think being behind Coach Dan Quinn is going to help him elevate because, I mean, look what Dan Quinn did for Matt Ryan. I know different type of quarterback, different type, but Dan Quinn does some things for.
I'm going to have to disagree with you. I don't think Dan Quinn's as good as you're like portraying him to be.
I portray Dan Quinn to be a great coach, bro.
I don't think he's that. I think he's a great defensive coach. I don't think he's a great head coach.
But I mean, they have a good offensive coordinator. Probably I'm glazing him a bit. I'm probably glazing him a bit, but to be fair, that Commanders team will definitely surprise people, and the Giants will be a running joke this year because they do not have a quarterback.
They're always a running joke, dude.
Yeah, they always are.
They have been for the last like 8-10 years, bro.
I know. And then they remind us about the Super Bowls against the Patriots.
I know, dude.
It's their coping mechanism.
That's their only argument, dude. That's their only thing.
It is. It's literally, it's like, dog, we got 5 rings. All right. They were in 73 and in the 90s. But still, that's more rings than you.
And also, it don't matter. Yes, we don't have as much playoff success as you guys did in the 2000s. But, bro, we have beaten you 13 out of the last 14 times. Like, that has to account for something. Like, I'm sorry, that has to account for something.
It does, man.
But another quarterback that we got to take a look at is Drake May from New England. I know they got Jacoby Brissett there as the veteran. They got that kid, Joe Milton III, that they took in the 6th round. That dude can ball. I like his game. I think he's going to get a job very soon if he doesn't get the job. But I think Drake May starts around week 7 of this year. I think Jacoby Brissett gives 7 games, and I don't think they're really competitive in any of them. And
I'm gonna counter you. Week 4.
Really? Wow.
Week 4. I'll counter you on week 4.
And you just said screw Jacoby Brissett.
Because Jacoby Brissett is a solid quarterback. They know what he's gonna do. And if they don't play well and they don't win that many games, they might as well just screw around and throw in these guys and see if they can provide a spark. Because, like, for New England, they're not going for a Super Bowl this year. They're not going to be a winning team. We know this. That division is stacked. even the Jets without Rodgers might have more of a chance than New England. I'm saying it. I'll put that down. Put my words in there.
All right.
I think very much New England is not going to be a good team, and they might as well just flip around with those quarterbacks and see what they got because they don't have a set quarterback and they don't really have a set goal for this year, and I don't think they will get that far.
All right. I mean, I could second that, but I disagree with. I think Jacoby gets them to week 7. I think week 8, Drake May is put into the lineup, and then if Drake May doesn't do well by week 13, they might even try Joe Milton III for the last 3 games.
Yeah, might as well, dude.
They're not going anywhere. What you got, and then you have the following season. You have a competition between Joe Milton III and Drake May for the starting job.
Oh, 100%.
I like that a lot. All right, so then we move to the Falcons, which we have an interesting talk about here. Michael Penix Jr., will he get a look at a down in football this year, or will he be sitting behind Big Kirk? What are your thoughts, Ian? I'm going to let you go with this one.
This one's a little tricky here because we know Big Kirk does get injured.
He just came off an Achilles injury, too.
Yeah, he did just come off the Achilles. But if he's healthy and Kirk Cousins is winning them games and throwing like a couple touchdowns a game, having these good games, we might be put in a situation where it's like they're just training the kid because they know Kirk Cousins is going to chase after the next contract. He's not a winning quarterback. He's about that contract. So, or a second year because Kirk is every other year. I think there's 2 scenarios. Kirk gets injured in the middle of the season, and that's when Mix gets his start. Or Kirk Cousins plays the whole season, then his second season, because he always slacks off at second season because it's not about his contract, he's going to not have a good season, and then maybe they will start to look at Knicks to get that start.
Gotcha.
So those are my possible 2 scenarios with it. Or if not, it goes my first scenario, it goes my second scenario where Kirk Cousins, instead of that second year, Kirk Cousins just plays good through the contract, and then they just wait to develop Knicks. It could just be that way too. So there's really 3 possibilities with it. It's all going to depend on the flow of the season with Kirk Cousins, I feel like.
All right. I would have to say Michael Penix Jr. I would have to agree with you on those takes because that's really the only takes. I don't think Michael Penix plays it down if Kirk Cousins does not get hurt or is not playing well. If he's not playing well, gets hurt, he's Michael Penix Jr. will be put in. If he's playing well and doesn't get hurt, he will not see a down of football. It might be more of an Alex Smith type of Patrick Mahomes type of way. That they have him sit for a year and a half, 2 years. Alex Smith gets injured or is not playing well. They put in Patrick Mahomes and then off to the races. Again, I'm not comparing Michael Penix Jr. to Patrick Mahomes, but I'm just saying in the case scenario,
it's all about grooming the quarterback.
Exactly. And if you have a good veteran quarterback that can actually do some things, then you're in a decent shape. And that's what Alex Smith was. Alex Smith was a little bit better than just an average veteran quarterback. He was a really good quarterback.
Alex Smith was very underappreciated. Very Tony Romo-esque type quarterback.
No, because he wasn't the gunslinger that Tony Romo was.
No, I'm not saying I'm saying on a level wise, he had a good career, but he's not going to get that Hall of Fame status because he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything in the playoffs.
The only thing for me, that's why I would put him as a Hall of Famer, is that how the hell do you come back from a monster injury like that and then come back to play?
That was crazy. But,
dude, did you see the leg?
You can't make the Hall of Fame. But as much as I respect that, you can't make the Hall of Fame a charity.
Oh no! I know you can't make the Hall. I'm just saying, for me, I
have respect for him as a quarterback.
Oh my God!
I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback at all. I think he had a great NFL career beyond the average NFL quarterback. I'm just saying he's like a Romo where he was really good, but he's just this close enough to having a Hall of Fame career because he just needed one ring.
Yeah,
and he might have had that Hall of Fame career.
Yeah,
and that's just how it be with some of these guys. I mean, we know if we take away Eli Manning's Super Bowl rings, I don't think we'd consider him the Hall of Famer. Because he has those 2 rings, and played 15 years, 13 years. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, I wasn't saying that Alex Smith, in my book, he's a Hall of Famer because of just the grit and the grind. And when I think of a Hall of Famer, I think of a person that is all in for football, is all in, and is not going to back down no matter what injury, no matter what's in his way. And that's what Alex Smith did. To come back from some injury and then to put another season on it is absolutely astronomically ridiculous.
And he was with the Commanders, bro.
Exactly, and they were ass.
And they were trying to, and they could have taken out any of those offensive tackles and gotten them hurt, man.
Exactly,
could have happened.
I definitely agree with that. It's just messed up, but yeah. Now we gotta move. We're moving good. We're about 25 minutes into the show. We're still with some quarterbacks. We got to talk about some JJ McCarthy. I know he got injured, and then Bo Nix will be after that. But I know JJ McCarthy got injured, and was sad to see the UCL ACL tearing. He's out for the season. But man, this dude can ball. I love the way he came out of the first preseason He threw his first pick, and he was not phased. He came right back out there and kept slinging that ball and got 2 monster 40-plus yard touchdowns, and they were perfect balls. I mean, they were perfectly spiraled, perfectly on target, right in the bread basket, over the shoulder fade, back shoulder fade to the one in the end zone, another one across the middle to the sideline. It was just great placement.
With his injury, this does make you think, should have the Vikings paid Kirk Cousins and had him ride and learn from Kirk? And I know that you would say no because the Kirk's money cost, but it does put you in the position where you can have that conversation. They could have kept Kirk Cousins, and even though he got hurt, he could have came back, and eventually you phase Kirk Cousins out of the job. But I understand why they wanted to get Cousins out of there, because he's not a winner.
Yeah, most definitely. He's definitely not a winner.
But for a safe end, they could have relied on the big perk.
Yeah, a little bit more, just so that he could learn. But I think JJ McCarthy's got that dog in him. I think by being with Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, and just being with the Michigan Wolverines, playing in these big games against my guys, Ohio State. There's a different feel with JJ McCarthy. But I think Jayden Daniels in general is going to be the best quarterback out of this draft class. He's going to be better than Caleb Williams. I think Jayden Daniels is going to be the best quarterback out of this draft class. I said it before the draft, and I'll say it again. I think Caleb Williams is not going to be. I think he's going to be one of the worst quarterbacks out of his draft. I don't think he's going to be pan out that well. I've been saying that before the draft. I've been looking at all the UFC games.
Daniels is going to have the first better season, but then once JJ comes back, there's going to be a little bit of a battle with them.
No. I'm saying him and JJ are going to be one of the they're going to be battle. I think JJ
there's going to be a battle between those two.
Still has the upper hand, because I just think he's a little bit more elusive. I think he's got more in the bag. I think he's got a better arm. He's definitely got a better arm. He's more accurate, and on top of that, he's also got the legs, and that just is a whole different story. He's just got to put a little weight on, so he can. If he gets smashed, he doesn't get fucking broken into two pieces, because he is a little bit of a skinny guy on the side. But he's fast. He's got great talent. So I think he's going to be great for the NFL. Can't wait to see him versus Lamar Jackson. That would be nice to see. Commanders versus Ravens is going to be cool. Both dual threat quarterbacks.
That's going to be a crazy game. I think the Ravens will win, but I think the Commanders will put on a
Yeah, they're gonna definitely show that they got some things up their sleeve for the next couple years coming up. But last but not least, guys, we got to talk about Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. They have been a oh my God, they have been a roller coaster through quarterbacks over the years. Since Peyton Manning has retired, it has been Brock Osweiler. I can't even name the quarterbacks that they've had. They've been so ass, it's ridiculous.
What's his face from the Seahawks? Oh, shoot, the white guy.
Drew Lock. He was terrible. They would say, "Oh, he's so bad. Get the hell out of here." And now you got Zach Wilson on the roster. You got Bo Nix.
Oh God, Zach Wilson's a Bronco.
Yeah, dude. Then you got, I think it was Jarrett Stidham.
Y'all better hide your moms, bro.
I don't know if it's. I forgot who's the other quarterback in there. I don't know if it's Stidham.
Y'all better hide your moms. Zach Wilson's gonna make your Broncos team horrible, and he's gonna be coming for your moms, bro. Y'all better hide your moms.
Yeah, it's It's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. I just think now they got Zach Wilson, they got Bo Nix there, but I think Bo Nix definitely's got to get the start. Um, I just
I
really
just realized that the Sanders kids are going to be in the draft next year. That's going to be sick.
yeah, that is gonna be nuts.
That is going to be awesome, dude.
That is definitely going to be something to watch. But yeah, no, I do think that Bo Nix is going to do some damage. You have some good players. I think Bo Nix can get the starting job. I think he should. I think he's the better quarterback
Yeah, he
than
definitely
all of
will get
them.
that job 100%.
I think he definitely should get that job. I think he's the better quarterback in the sense of just understanding the game. I think Zach Wilson really is just terrible.
If you're giving Zach Wilson a chance, you're literally just that's a delusional move. You might as well give Bo Nix that chance because Bo Nix was given the best show.
Yeah,
That
and he
should be
was
Bo
playing
Nix.
great during the preseason games that they've had so far, and I think that just shows you how
He's a rookie this year, right? He got drafted this year.
Yeah,
right?
he got drafted this year, but he was in Oregon for like 7 years, so he's an older quarterback. He's got the most experience coming out of the draft.
Oh yeah, this
Quarterback.
kid could be.
Yeah, he's been in the league. He's like in his late 20s. This guy's been in the league in college for like 7 years, 6 years.
Is
In
he
Oregon.
26?
Yeah, 26, 27.
Damn. All right, yeah. So, I mean, I would think that this guy's getting the start over Zach Wilson. Let's be fair.
Yeah,
because
yeah. I don't think it's even a competition, but the fact that they haven't named it yet is just a little bit surprising and a little bit scary because I'm like, bro, how have you not named Zach Wilson? I mean, how have you not named Bo Nix the starter? You've seen Zach Wilson's ceiling. It's not going higher than this unless he gets he was able to learn behind one of the great quarterbacks that we've ever seen in Aaron Rodgers, and he couldn't do shit.
He could not.
I don't understand that. I really don't. So we're gonna take a break here, guys, for just a couple minutes, and we'll come back for you guys with a UFC 305 recap and what happened last night, and that will be it for our show. After that, peace out, guys. We'll be just right back in just a sec. Hey guys, here on the Fire Sports Pod, we are back like we never left. Again, I'm your host Zach Jackson, and here with my guest host and good friend of mine, Ian Greenberg. We are on to our second segment here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. Let's get right into it. So we got UFC 305 recap from Saturday night. The main card we're just going to be going over, which are the 5 fights that happened. We're going to start with the welterweight. At 10 p.m. Eastern time, we had Carlos Paredes with the 20-6 to improve to 20-6-0, get the win over Li Jinglang 19-9. We had the heavyweight Tai Tufasi. Took the loss to Jair Zeno Roslik. This guy over here, this was a great fight. The second fight, roster struck. He went to a decision round 3 with 5 minutes. So went full 3 rounds. And took a decision. But this was a pretty good fight. This man improved to 15-5. Tai dropped to 15-8. You had Matus Gamrot lose to Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker improves to 24-12. Gamrot drops to 24-3. This was a decision in round 3. It went all 3 rounds. If you look, this was a pretty big upset. Dan Hooker's 24-12. Gamrot is 24-3. So this was a pretty big upset in the light heavyweight division. And then you go to the co-main event. You had the flyweight co-main event, KO/TKO in round 1 with 4 minutes and 4 gone by. You had Kai Kara France take down Steve Erkrich. Kai Kara was 25-11. More experience, of course, in the UFC fighting, but Steve had the better record with a 12-3 record. But I think Kai Kara was just a better fighter, and you could see that when he KO'd/TKO'd him in the first round. And then we move to the last and the main event, the middleweight title fight. And that was to try to see if Israel Adesanya could get back his title belt and bring it back to his home country. That wasn't the case. He had a very emotional press conference early. The guy kind of got into his head a little bit and really made him cry a little bit at the press conference. First time I've ever seen Izzy cry. It was a little bit emotional. I felt the spirit. I thought Israel Adesanya was going to come out and destroy him. That wasn't the case. It was a submission in round 4. Didn't even make to round 5 rounds. Submission in round 4 with 3:38 gone by. Driscus Duplessis took the win over Israel Adesanya. Driscus improves to 22-2. Israel Adesanya drops to 24-4. He has not got back his title in a while, so it looks like he's going to be dropped down until another. There might be another rematch. We'll see if it happens in the cards in the near future. But I think Israel Adesanya really took 11-month layoff before this fight. He was one of the most consistent fighters and always coming out and always fighting. So that's what I really loved about him. A lot of people don't like his style sometimes, depending on the fights, because he's a little slow. He really takes forever. He kind of just picks the spots. He doesn't really go crazy. But I like Israel Adesanya. He's one of my favorite fighters. I think he is my favorite fighter, Israel Adesanya. So I would have to say that he'll be back. I just think that it's going to take time. I think they're going to he might have another 6-8 month layoff and then get another fight. So we'll see what happens and what's his next fight in the future. But I know, Ian, you don't really watch UFC, but you've been trying to get into it a little bit. But do you have any insight on any of these fights?
I have zero insight, and I don't want to say nothing because I don't know anything on this one.
Whoa. NFL says moving kickoff touchback to the 35-yard line is not likely in 2024. So it's going to stay at the 40. But sorry to cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, you're good. I was just saying I don't know anything about this. If I don't want to say something wrong here. I don't want to give the public a misinformed clickbait comment. I know nobody be liking those, especially from the Fire Sports Pod where we only spit in heat. We can't be spitting cold. That's wrong, bro. We can't be spitting cold. We got to spit heat. We got to stay on that fire.
Oh my God, you're crazy. All right, guys. So so that's pretty much it. Ian doesn't got no knowledge on the UFC. I just wanted to let you guys know what happened in the UFC over the weekend. I'll get you on Recap Monday. But again, guys, just to recap the show, we went over, first up, all the rookie quarterbacks that got picked in the first round draft, and even some guys that we were thinking that are have been in the league for a while, like a Trevor Lawrence, a Daniel Jones, a couple guys that have been in the league for a bit, and will they pan out and will they have a good season in the near future?
Make fun of Daniel Jones for like another hour, bro.
I know.
love making fun of Daniel Jones.
We also talked some NFC East matchups with the Commanders and how well they got with Jayden Daniels, with Dak Prescott.
Did I tell you I met him? I met Daniel Jones, actually.
I know you did. You did tell me that.
I did tell you again. I went to the Landon Collins charity game.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
I did tell you about that? Dude, it was such a funny moment. He's a big motherfucker. He's big.
I know. He's like 6'5", bro.
He's like he's like Josh Allen without the Zins, I think. I think the Zins really make a difference. Kids don't do drugs, but I think the Zin Josh Allen is a different breed, bro.
Oh my God. All right, we're gonna leave that with that. But again, guys, we went over some NFL news, some rookie quarterback talk, as well as some you could say veterans right now. You're a little still young quarterbacks, but went over some veteran quarterbacks that should be doing a little bit more than what they're doing right now in the NFL. We also went into detail about what we think in the future holds for these rookie quarterbacks. And then we moved to our second segment and we talked some UFC for the last 7 minutes or so and recap what happened in UFC 305 over the weekend on Saturday night. So other than that, guys, have a great rest of your Monday afternoon, and I will catch you guys on Wednesday for season 4, episode number 27. We are almost, guys, to season 5. We got about another 8 episodes starting on Wednesday. From there, we got 8 episodes until season 5 starts up. So appreciate all the support, guys. Again, I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. I'm here with my guest host and special friend, Ian Greenberg.
Friend, yo, pause. Hold up. Thank you, but pause. Yeah, we out of here.
Why'd you have to make it? Why'd you have to make it like that, bro?
Bro, you said it like that.
I was trying to be nice, but you know what?
Screw you, my little sweetheart or something.
Okay, all right. But no, other than us, guys, without the jokes, again, I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here with my guest host and good friend of mine, Ian Greenberg, powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. This is season 4, episode 26, and we are out. Peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you guys Wednesday.